Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. This time, we're tackling the Confidence Confidant.
Ooh,
It's a guide that claims it can help you build confidence and succeed in pretty much anything.
sounds ambitious.
Yeah, maybe a little cheesy on the surface.
I was going to say, the title sounds like a self-help book.
Yeah, but flipping through it, there are actually some surprisingly insightful ideas in here.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
So we're gonna unpack the key takeaways
Love it.
and see how they apply to like your real life.
Sounds good.
So you know how some people just seem naturally confident?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mm.
Some people just have that aura about them.
Right. But this book argues that confidence isn't just like an innate trait. It's something you can actually like learn and develop over time.
That's actually really encouraging because I've always kind of felt like I'm a naturally shy person, you know?
Yeah, totally. And the book dives into how our childhood experiences, especially those with like parents and peers, can really shape our confidence later in life.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah,
You know, those early interactions really lay the foundation for how we see ourselves.
exactly. So think back to your childhood for a sec.
Okay.
What were the messages you were getting about yourself?
Yeah.
Were you praised for like your achievements, encouraged to take risks, or were you often criticized or maybe made to feel inadequate?
Wow. Yeah, when you put it like that, it's crazy how those seemingly small moments can still impact us as adults.
Right. And the book doesn't just like dwell on the past.
Yeah.
It offers practical strategies for overcoming those deep-seated beliefs and building a more confident self-image.
I like that. So it's not just about identifying the problem, but actually giving you tools to address it.
Exactly. And one of the key strategies they emphasize is facing your fears head on.
Makes sense. The more we avoid the things that scare us, the scarier they become.
Right. So let's say you're terrified of public speaking.
Oh, yeah, a classic.
The book wouldn't just throw you on a stage and say, go get 'em.
Right.
It's more about like taking gradual steps, starting small and slowly exposing yourself to the thing you fear.
So instead of trying to conquer the whole mountain at once, you're taking smaller, more manageable steps.
Yeah. So maybe you start by practicing in front of a mirror, then with a close friend or family member,
Okay.
then maybe at a small work meeting.
Yeah, that's a good progression.
It's about slowly desensitizing yourself to the fear and building your confidence along the way.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You know, it's also about reframing your thoughts, too.
Oh, yeah. Tell me more about that.
So instead of thinking, I'm going to mess this up, you might say, okay, I might be nervous, but I've prepared and I'm going to do my best.
I love that. It's like changing the script in your head.
Yeah, exactly. And this actually ties into cognitive behavioral techniques,
Ooh, best.
which focus on like identifying and changing those unhelpful thought patterns.
So you're not just trying to ignore your fears. You're actively working to change the way you think about them.
Exactly.
And speaking of public speaking,
Oh, back to that.
the book has a whole chapter dedicated to it.
Of course it does.
But it's not the usual, like, imagine everyone in their underwear kind of advice.
Please tell me it's not that.
It's actually way more interesting.
Okay, good. I'm listening.
They actually encourage you to embrace those pre-presentation jitters.
Embrace the jitters.
Yeah. They say a little bit of nervousness can actually enhance your performance.
That's counterintuitive.
It is. But think about it. When you're feeling that adrenaline rush, you tend to be more animated.
Yeah.
Your voice has more inflection.
Okay.
You're more likely to connect with your audience on like an emotional level.
That's true. It's like when athletes are about to compete.
Yeah.
They're not totally zen, right?
Right. They have that nervous energy that helps them focus
Mm-hmm.
and perform their best.
Interesting comparison.
So maybe instead of trying to eliminate those nerves altogether,
Okay.
we should reframe them as excitement.
Excitement, huh?
Yeah. Like a sign that you're about to do something meaningful.
I like that shift in perspective.
And another big point they make is that public speaking is not about perfection.
Thank goodness.
It's about connection.
Connection with the audience.
Yeah.
Okay.
So often we get caught up in trying to deliver this flawless presentation that we forget to just be ourselves.
Yeah, we lose that authenticity.
Right. It's like we're so focused on not messing up
Yeah.
that we miss the whole point.
Which is to share our message.
Exactly. Our ideas, our passion.
It's about connecting with people on a human level.
So it's okay to stumble over a word or two, or maybe go off script a little. Those imperfections actually make you more relatable.
I can see that.
They show your audience that you're human.
Right, because no one's perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that brings us to another big fear for a lot of people.
Okay, what's that?
Approaching people.
Oh, yeah, I can relate to that one.
The book tackles this with the metaphor of breaking down walls and building bridges.
Ooh, I like that metaphor.
It's so visual, right?
Yeah. It's like we all put up these invisible walls, especially in new social situations.
Right. We might be guarded or self-conscious,
Mm-hmm.
but the book encourages us to break down those barriers.
And build bridges instead.
Exactly. It's about approaching people with an open mind, curiosity instead of judgment.
So it's about shifting our focus from what can I get from this person to how can I connect with this person.
Exactly. And remembering that approaching people isn't just about networking or trying to get something from them.
Right.
It's about enriching our lives through meaningful interaction.
I like that. It's about building genuine connections.
And expanding our social circles.
Yeah.
Learning from different perspectives.
Creating a sense of community.
Yeah. It's about seeing every interaction as an opportunity for growth and connection.
You know, the book gives some really good advice on how to actually do that.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, one thing they stress is being a good listener.
That's huge.
Because we often get caught up in trying to impress others or dominate the conversation. But true connection happens when we genuinely listen.
It's about showing genuine interest in the other person's experiences, their perspectives, asking thoughtful questions.
And actually paying attention to the answers.
Right. Not just waiting for your turn to talk.
And finding that balance between being curious and not overwhelming them with questions.
So it doesn't feel like an interrogation.
Exactly.
It's about letting the conversation flow naturally. And you know what the most important piece of advice is?
I'm guessing it has to do with being authentic.
You got it. Just be yourself.
There it is again. Authenticity.
It's like the golden rule of confidence.
It really seems to be the key.
When we try to be someone we're not, it creates this disconnect.
Yeah.
It makes it harder to form genuine bonds.
It's like wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And eventually that mask gets really uncomfortable.
So the book encourages us to embrace our true selves.
Love it.
Quirks and all, and approach others with that same authenticity.
Makes sense. Now, what about those quick confidence boosts everyone's always looking for?
Oh yeah, that's the final chapter.
Okay, tell me more.
They actually caution against relying on those quick fixes.
Interesting. I didn't expect that.
They use this analogy of holding a glass of hot water.
Okay, I'm listening.
At first, the heat's bearable, but the longer you hold on, the more it burns until you have to let go.
I see where this is going.
They're saying low self-confidence can be like that.
We can tolerate it for a while, but eventually it becomes too painful.
Right, and it's often not until we hit that breaking point that we decide to change.
That's a powerful image.
So instead of waiting for things to get that bad, the book encourages us to take proactive steps to build our confidence now.
Makes sense. But how do we actually do that?
That's what we'll explore in part 2.
Can't wait.
Stay tuned.
I'm hooked.
So how do we build confidence? Where do we even start?
Well, the book makes this really interesting connection between confidence and self-worth.
Okay.
It's like you can have all the techniques and tips, but if you don't fundamentally believe in yourself, it's going to be tough to truly project that confidence.
It's like a house built on sand.
Exactly. You can put up the walls and everything, but it's not going to be stable. The book really hammers home the point that self-confidence is tied to your self-worth.
And that's way deeper than just affirmations or something.
Right. It's about addressing those core beliefs about yourself.
Especially with all the messages we get from society.
Oh, yeah.
Like social media and all that. It's tough to feel worthy sometimes.
It is a constant bombardment of perfect lives and unrealistic standards.
But the book reminds us that true worthiness comes from within.
It's not about external validation or achievements.
It's about recognizing your inherent value just as you are.
Exactly. You are worthy just because you exist.
I love that. Giving yourself permission to just be imperfections and all.
And when you truly believe that, so much pressure comes off.
You're not trying to prove anything to anyone.
Right. You can just be yourself, and that genuine confidence.
That's what people connect with.
Exactly. It shines through.
You know what else really stuck with me from the book?
What's that?
Their advice on public speaking.
Oh, yeah. That was a game changer.
It was. Most advice is calm your nerves, breathe deep.
Right. Picture everyone in their underwear.
Exactly. But this book says, embrace the jitters.
I remember that. Use them to your advantage.
They say a little nervousness can actually make you a better speaker.
Which is so counterintuitive.
It is, but think about it. That adrenaline rush,
Okay.
it makes you more animated. Your voice has more inflection.
Yeah, you're more engaged.
And you connect with the audience on a deeper level.
I've definitely felt that before a presentation.
Yeah.
But I always thought it meant I wasn't ready,
I know.
like I was going to mess up.
But maybe it's actually a good thing.
The book says to reframe those nerves as excitement,
Okay.
like you're about to do something meaningful.
It's a total mindset shift from I'm going to fail to I'm about to share something important.
And remember, public speaking isn't about perfection.
Oh, thank goodness.
It's about connecting with your audience authentically.
So don't get caught up in trying to deliver a flawless presentation.
Right.
Just be yourself. Engage with the people in front of you.
It's about sharing your message, your ideas, your passion.
And it's okay to stumble over a word or go off script.
Those imperfections can actually make you more relatable.
They make you human.
Exactly. People connect with that.
And you know what else people connect with?
What?
Genuine interactions. Which brings us back to approaching people.
Oh, yeah. Breaking down walls and building bridges.
Love that metaphor. It's so visual.
It really captures the essence of it. We all have those walls we put up.
Especially in new situations.
But the book encourages us to break them down.
And build those bridges instead.
Approach people with an open mind, curiosity, not judgment.
And it's a big shift in perspective.
It is. From what can I get to how can I connect?
And remembering that approaching people isn't just about networking.
It's about enriching our lives.
Yeah.
Building genuine connections.
Expanding our social circles. Learning new things.
Creating a sense of community.
It's about seeing every interaction as an opportunity for growth, for connection.
And the book has some great advice on how to actually approach people.
What?
Well, a big one is being a good listener.
So important. Because we often get caught up in trying to impress others.
Or dominate the conversation.
But true connection happens when you really listen.
Show genuine interest. Ask thoughtful questions.
And actually listen to the answers.
Yeah.
Not just wait for your turn to talk.
Exactly. And find that balance between being curious and not overwhelming them with questions.
So it doesn't feel like an interrogation.
Right. Let the conversation flow naturally.
And the most important advice.
Be yourself.
Ding, ding, ding.
Authenticity wins again.
It's a recurring theme for a reason.
When we try to be someone we're not, it creates a disconnect.
It's like wearing a mask that eventually becomes suffocating.
Embrace your true self, quirks and all.
And approach others with that same authenticity. Okay, so we talked about building confidence, facing our fears, approaching people. But what about those quick confidence boosts everyone's always searching for?
Oh, yeah. The magic pill of confidence.
The book has a whole chapter on that. And guess what?
They don't exist.
They pretty much say those quick fixes are a myth.
That's refreshing honesty.
They use this really powerful analogy to explain it.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Imagine holding a glass of hot water.
Okay.
At first, the heat's bearable, but the longer you hold on, the more it burns until you have to drop the glass.
Ouch, I get it.
They're saying low self-confidence is kind of like that.
We can tolerate it for a while, but eventually it becomes unbearable.
And we're forced to change.
So don't wait for that breaking point. Start building your confidence now.
That's the message. And they emphasize that true confidence isn't a destination.
It's a journey.
It's about self-awareness, self-compassion, and a commitment to personal growth.
It's an ongoing process of becoming the best version of yourself.
Right. And while there might not be any quick fixes, the book does offer some practical strategies for boosting your confidence in the moment.
Like what?
Well, a big one is positive self-talk.
Oh, yeah. That's so important, but so easy to forget.
It's easy to be your own worst critic.
We're often way harder on ourselves than we would ever be on anyone else.
The book reminds us that how we talk to ourselves, it really impacts our confidence.
So instead of beating yourself up, try speaking to yourself with kindness and encouragement.
It's like retraining your inner critic to be your inner cheerleader.
I love that. And what about visualization? The book talks about that too.
Oh, yeah. Instead of dwelling on worst-case scenarios, visualize yourself succeeding, achieving your goals.
It's about creating those positive mental images and believing in your own abilities.
It's powerful stuff. And then there's body language.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
It's amazing how our physical presence can affect how we feel.
Our body language sends signals to our brains. Standing tall, making eye contact, smiling.
It actually boosts your confidence.
It's like fake it till you make it. But with your body?
Exactly. So it's not just about what we think.
It's also about how we carry ourselves, our physical presence.
It's like Our bodies can trick our minds into feeling more confident.
Yeah, it's wild.
And, as we've been talking about all these different aspects of confidence,
Mm-hmm.
I've realized how much it all comes back to self-acceptance.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not about being perfect.
Right.
It's about embracing who you are, flaws, and...
That's such a key point.
Mm-hmm.
The book really emphasizes that true confidence.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't about being flawless or having it all together.
Yep.
It's about recognizing that we're all works in progress.
Mm-hmm.
We all have strengths and weaknesses.
And accepting ourselves for who we are right now.
Exactly. Like giving yourself permission to be human.
To make mistakes.
To have bad days.
But still believe in your worth.
And when we can do that,
Mm-hmm.
when we let go of that need to be perfect,
Yeah.
so much pressure comes off.
It's like we're free to be ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Without all that self-judgment.
Without all the second guessing.
And that's where true confidence starts to grow.
It's not about fitting in or meeting expectations anymore.
It's about owning who you are.
Letting your light shine.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you know what? When we're confident in ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
it inspires others to be confident too.
It's contagious.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
like this ripple effect.
One of the things that really stood out to me in this book
Okay, what's that?
is the emphasis on taking action.
Oh, yeah. It's not just about reading about it.
Right. It's about actually doing something.
Putting these principles into practice,
Facing your fears.
stepping outside your comfort zone.
Taking those small but significant steps.
And you know what? You don't have to do it all at once.
That's good because that's overwhelming.
It is. You can start with small actions.
Okay.
Even tiny things can make a difference.
So for someone listening who's feeling a little lost, or maybe they don't know where to start,
What's one small actionable step they can take today?
to build more confidence.
That's a good question. Well, it could be something as simple as
Hmm.
striking up a conversation with a stranger,
Oh, okay.
or volunteering for a project at work,
Mm-hmm.
or even just giving yourself a compliment in the mirror.
It's about proving to yourself that you can do it,
Exactly. And you can take action and move forward.
even if it's just a small step.
Right. And each step you take, no matter how small,
Yeah.
it reinforces that belief in yourself.
It's like building a muscle.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The more you use it,
Mm-hmm.
the stronger it gets.
And that's what this whole journey of confidence is all about.
It's about strengthening that muscle day by day,
Experience by experience.
embracing the process.
Knowing there will be setbacks,
There will be challenges,
but also recognizing that every experience is an opportunity
an opportunity for growth.
for learning.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the Confidence Confidant,
Mm-hmm.
I want to leave you with this thought.
Here, listen.
Confidence is not a destination.
Okay.
It's a journey.
A journey that's unique to each individual.
Exactly. There's no one-size-fits-all approach.
But the tools and resources are out there for anyone willing to put in the effort.
This book is a roadmap.
But you have to take the wheel.
You have to navigate your own path.
And remember, you're not alone on this journey
There are so many people out there.
who are going through the same thing.
So keep practicing
Keep challenging yourself
and keep believing in yourself.
because you are capable of amazing things.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into confidence.
It's been a pleasure exploring this with you.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Until then, keep diving deep.